If you're not aware, September is National Suicide Awareness Month, and this is a topic that many of us do not talk about. So today I will be addressing ways to support a suicidal spouse or partner. Hi, I'm Asia from the Relationship Refinery, here to help you redefine as well as refine the way that you view healthy relationships. And if you or someone you know is suffering with suicidal ideation, please know that there are things that you can do to support them. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Before we really get into everything, I want to remind you that I am not your therapist. So although I am a marriage and family therapist associate, I am not your therapist. So please don't say that, oh, my therapist told me to do A, B, C, and D. These are things that in general people can do to help a person with suicidal ideation, to help support them, to help them feel seen and feel heard. But these are general tips because, like I said, we don't talk about suicide in any community. I don't know of very many communities that do talk about suicide. First thing that I want to bring to your attention is that talking about suicide does not put the thought in their head. They either already have those thoughts or they don't. And there's a myth that if you bring up or if you ask about suicidal ideation, it'll put it in their head, and that's just simply not true. So what you can do is you can say something like, hey, I understand that people who have gone through the things that you've gone through may experience suicidal ideation. Is it something that has crossed your mind? And just give them the space to admit it, to say, yeah, sometimes I don't want to be here. Or to say, no, I that's not something that I would do, or even to say, yeah, I really just, I think about ending my life. Whatever level that they are, whether they're denying it, whether they're in the middle and they're just kind of like, I don't know, I don't necessarily want to commit suicide, but I also just don't want to be here. Or whether they have severe suicidal ideation. Hold their hand. You might not have to literally hold their hand, but be there for them and give them empathy. Don't panic and, oh my gosh, you thought about calm down. You take a deep breath, you relax before you have this conversation. Because if you panic, then it might shut them down. It might send them into panic. So relax. Ask them to tell you a little bit more about it. Really, when do you have these thoughts? Now remember, you're not a therapist, so don't try to do therapy with them. Just give them a space, a comfortable, empathic space where they can express their emotions without feeling judged. Or without feeling like you already know what they're going to say. Oh yeah, I know you've been going through a lot, I know. No, give them the space to tell you exactly how they feel. The second thing is support them. I'm not saying support the decision, I'm saying support their feelings. If they're feeling like they don't want to be there, support them. Validate their experience. Don't tell them you shouldn't feel that way, you have so much going for you. Don't tell them that. They've already thought about that. I'm sure that they have already considered the fact that they have a lot going for them. That they have you, that they have children maybe, that they have homes. But there are people who have millions of dollars and are unhappy. There are people who have been married for years, who have children, and they are unhappy. And it could be because of life circumstances or because of chemical imbalances and things like that. But either way, validate their experience. Let them know, one, that once again, I'm here to support you in whatever way you need support. And I can imagine how difficult that is for you. Don't tell them, oh, I know exactly how you feel, because you don't. Even if you have experienced suicidal ideation, you don't know exactly how they feel. So just tell them things like I said, I can only imagine how they feel. Can you tell me a little bit more? Check out my previous video where I talked about how to listen. That'll give you a little bit of a better understanding of how to validate and how to ask open-ended questions. The third thing you can do is to go to therapy with them. Offer. Tell them, hey, I would be more than happy to go to therapy with you. I think that therapy could really be beneficial for you, so that you can talk out these emotions. And I'll be there just as a support. I won't say anything. I will just sit there next to you, or if they want you to be there to talk with them. But remember, this is their session though. You're not coming to get your problem solved or for you to be heard. You're going there to support them. Or even tell them, hey, I will go with you to a hospital to be evaluated. Because evaluations sometimes are necessary. That person might need to be evaluated just to assess their level of suicidality, essentially. The fourth thing you can do is encourage them to talk to their doctor. Because as I previously mentioned, that sometimes it can be just a hormonal imbalance. It might be, like I said, they may have just an amazing life. but something in their hormones is not going correctly, not going as it should be, and that can encourage them to feel suicidal. Or it could be the side effect of medication. So maybe they started a new medication recently, or maybe they've been on it for a little while and side effects change. You could be taking medication for X amount of time and you could experience different side effects years later, because our body changes, and as our body is reacting to chemicals, and it's just a bunch of stuff that can happen. So, check the medication that they're experiencing. Of course, also make sure that you are getting rid of certain things like, knives. I know that they may, especially if they're adults, they may feel like, are you treating me like a child? And if they're getting offended, you make sure that you calm them down, validate them. I can understand how this would upset you. It would upset me too if I was in this situation. But my number one priority, my love, is to keep you safe, because you are very important to me. So it may take you removing knives and locking up guns, or removing guns, placing them somewhere that they don't have access to them. It may require you to remove medication. They might have to go through you to get medication. Like I said, all of these things may be issues that they have, or all of these things may be something that they have a problem with. But try to validate them. Try to explain that if you were in the same situation, you'd be pissed too. But that your love for them is why you're doing this. So make sure they go to the doctor and get their blood work done, so they can see if there's anything that's off, and that they talk to the doctor and express that they are feeling thoughts of suicide, that they're experiencing thoughts of suicide. The last thing that I would encourage you to do is to encourage your partner to take things one day at a time. Take it one moment at a time. Maybe they've experienced a death or a loss, and then that, I would say, going back to go to therapy with them. There are all kinds of grief support groups. Grief Works is here in Dallas. If you're from Dallas, I don't know if they are world or nationwide or not, but I would check out Grief Works, because they have free grief groups, as well as my church, OCBF. We have grief shops depending on, or workshops depending on when you see this. They're not reoccurring, they're not ongoing. There are sessions, but there are other churches and other therapy offices that offer grief workshops. You can also find some on Psychology Today, so you can walk with them to help them to find a support group in that way. Really encourage them to go. You can't force them to go, but yes, encourage them to do things one day at a time, to take it one day at a time, to ask them what would make your day today. Try to make their favorite food, or there's only so much that you can do. You can compliment them all day long. You can tell them I love you all day long, but there's something going on the inside of their mind that is either not registering the things that are going on around them, or like I said, it could be a chemical imbalance. So there's only so much that you can do, and we'll get to that point in a second. But encourage them to do something fun every day, something that they enjoy doing. A lot of people who go through a depressed period, or who feel down, they may stop doing things that they enjoy doing. So they used to go golfing all the time. Now they don't want to go golfing with their buddies. And we'll also go into more details in just a second about what that can look like. But just encourage them. Don't nag them. Don't stay on them. You need to do this. You need to do this. This is what Asia said. Once again, don't say that this is what I said. I'm just giving you some encouragement, some ideas and things like that. But you just make sure that you tell them, assess how was your day today. Point out the positive. Wow, you made it out of bed today. I'm so proud of you. You don't have to say I'm so proud of you. You made it out of bed today. Great job. And I also really want to encourage you to pay attention to signs, okay? So there's an acronym that is path warm, and this can help you to assess suicidality. Now, you're not trying to do this as a professional. You're really just being observing. So, is path warm? What does it stand for? Okay, so I don't remember off the top of my head, although I do have a strong idea of what everything stands for. So the I is ideation. So if they talk about wanting to die and with a plan, that's when you really need to get someone involved, a hospital, police, or someone. Substance abuse can also be a sign. Purposelessness, feeling like that they don't have purpose on this earth. Anxiety, trapped. If they mention feeling trapped, like the walls are caving in on me, or I just feel trapped on this earth. Hopelessness, withdrawal. So if they're withdrawing from friends, like I mentioned, they used to go golfing with their buddies every Wednesday and Saturday or something like that. And now they don't ever want to go. You have to tell them, you need to get out, you need to go hang with your friends. They're withdrawing from people, or they don't want to spend time with the family anymore. Anger, if they're experiencing uncontrolled anger, they're just always yelling, always frustrated. Recklessness, if they start driving without their seatbelt or just doing things that are considered reckless. As well as mood change, if there's dramatic mood changes. So, they used to be a really chippy and cheery person, and now they're just like, yeah, sure, okay, whatever. They're really just kind of leveled out. Those are signs of suicidality, or those who may be considering suicide or have thoughts of suicide, or maybe it's not even I want to kill myself. It could just be I don't want to be here, and that is still considered a thought of suicide that needs some type of action. And they don't have to meet everything. They don't have to have the I, the S, P, A, T, H. If they're experiencing one thing, they're angry or they're isolating from the friends, but they're not feeling hopeless. They're not experiencing anxiety or anger and all some of the other things. Maybe they just don't want to hang out with those friends. It's when they're experiencing multiple at the same time. And then I want to encourage you to remember to take care of yourself, okay? And also remember, you cannot be with them 24/7. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You can provide resources for them and encouragement and support and everything, but you cannot make them accept it. Please do not follow them around the house, or they say they go to the grocery store and I'll come with you. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying don't go to the grocery store with them, but don't get on their nerves and make them feel like that they're being, followed, or they're being stalked because you're fearful of what may happen to them. The support and the help that you can get them is by, once again, validating their experience, encouraging them to go seek a therapist, and just being there for them, allowing them to share about their bad days when they're having bad days. But once again, therapy is super important. Please encourage them to get therapy, whether it's a support group or going to therapy. It doesn't matter the cost. This is an investment in their future. There's all kinds of help out there, especially during National Suicide Awareness Month. You can call or text the number 988 if you or someone you know is experiencing suicidal ideation. That's all I have for today. I hope that this was very informational for you, and I will make sure to include some resources in the description box below. Thank you for choosing to watch the Relationship Refinery today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.